For this e-learning lesson, we're going to show you how to set a mare as in FOAL. We're going to show you how to enter the breeding information and also the pregnancy information. Now, this lesson can be used in two ways. You can either use it to enter previous information, say a mare has come on your place and she is currently in FOAL, or this can be how you utilize mares that you are breeding on with outside semen that you have shipped in. If you are breeding a mare on your farm to a stallion on your farm, you're going to do it through the stallion management, which is covered in other lessons. But for this example, it can either be used for a mare that is walked onto your place and she's currently pregnant, or that you are breeding on a mare with semen from an outside stallion. Either way, we're going to go to mare management, and you can do this from anywhere that you have access to the breeding log. If you are working on the daily worksheet and you want to go to her summary card to the breeding log, that's fine. We're going to go straight to the breeding log. Just know that anywhere you have access to that shortcut, you can use this. So we'll go to the breeding log, going to enter a new record. And for this, let's use a past example so we can go ahead and make her in FOAL. And for this one, I'm going to simply type in the mare's name. It's going to be Sparkling Hot. As soon as I tab out of that field or select the stallion field, all of her information comes up on the right, so we make sure we're breeding the right mare. We have her name and her owner, as well as her neckband, her age, any information about her. The stallion we're going to breed to is Wise Investment. The stallion that you're going to breed to needs to be into your computer, can, however, be inactive, and if you're shipping semen in on him, should be inactive. We have seen some farms, to save on the number of horses in their system, simply use outside stallion, which is okay if you want to do that. You'll lose some of the information in your breeding log as far as who she's bred to. You can always enter that information into her mare record, though. So our breeding date, let's change it to 2/20. And the board farm, we can use her owner if that is if we don't know who bred her. Again, this is a past example of a mare that was bred and is currently walking in as in FOAL. We don't know the number of progressive cells or the volume or total volume, and that's okay. The breeding method, if you know it, can be entered here. Otherwise, it can be artificial insemination. It can be cooled semen. It can be whatever you want it to be. So we're going to save this breeding form. And at this point, it's going to ask if we'd like to check ovulation. For our example, it would probably be better not to check ovulation because we don't know the specific ovulation date. If we don't know the ovulation date, the computer will assume that she's ovulated and 2 days after she was bred. So if we check no on this box, her ovulation date would be 2/22. For the example, we're going to say yes so that you can see all of the information that comes when you say yes. If you say no here, it will simply ask if you'd like to schedule her. You can say yes or no, and then it returns you to the breeding log. For this example, we'll say yes, we are going to check ovulation, and we have the opportunity to reschedule her. Again, this is the same example as if the mare was standing and you just inseminated her. You want to check ovulation. You'd like to see her tomorrow. So this works the same way. For this example, we're going to say no, though, and we'll refresh the view. Now, our breeding log always starts at 3 days ago, so that won't work very good. We can uncheck the mare, and let's do her name, and then I can do all dates and refresh. And this is going to show all of her breeding records, and she had some last year. So for this, we're going to double-click on this last record because, again, the ovulation date says NA, so we can double-click on it. And all of the information is the same. However, you can see this ovulation information has been added. So we're going to say ovulation confirmed. And again, 2/22 is the suggested date. However, if you want to change it, that's fine. You can change it forwards or backwards. It's okay. We'll leave it at 2/22 since we don't know all the information. And save it again. And now it's been updated. It's going to ask if we want to schedule her. But before that, it's going to ask if we want to flush her. So this is where you would need to determine if you want to flush her. Now, mares that are going to be flushed will be covered in another lesson. So for this example, again, she walked on our farm pregnant. We're going to say no. And it asks if we want to reschedule her. We can say no. And we will refresh the list view. And now that ovulation date has been marked in there. We're going to select it one time because we need to now make her pregnant. And we'll mark this pregnancy confirmed. We do want to confirm the pregnancy. And our confirmation date can be the date we palpated her. It can be whatever date that you guys want. If it's 14 days from her breeding date or her last OV date, we'll use the date that we palpated her, that she actually came on the farm. So we'll say today is okay. And This is the line that it will write in her mare record. If you wish to change it, it's already highlighted. You can just start typing. For me, this works okay. Pregnancy confirmed, checked at 46 days post-OV. That's fine for me to write in her mare record, so I'll say okay. Pregnancy log was added, as well as a record to her mare record. So we'll say okay. And now again, we can reschedule her if we want to. This might be a good time for you to reschedule her for a palpation in a month or so, however often that you decide to palpate. So we'll close this. You can see that now the breeding log has been changed to where she's marked as in full, and she has a due date. So anytime you want to do a pregnancy check, you would simply highlight her breeding record, do a pregnancy check, opens up the pregnancy check log, and then you would enter a new pregnancy check with the date. It will again suggest a comment for the mare record, but you don't have to use that if you want. It will also allow for the heartbeat. Now, since she's 46 days out, she should have a heartbeat. We'll go ahead and do a pregnancy check and register the heartbeat. We can do a pregnancy check on the same day if we want to. She is either in full or not. This would be the same way that you mark a mare as slipped. Say yes. We can register a heartbeat for her pregnancy exam. We'll say yes. If you select no, it will simply ask you until you have a heartbeat. 46 days pregnancy check, positive heartbeat. So we have that noted in her mare record. Again, type over it if this is not what you want to see. Say OK. Record has been added. You can see that the pregnancy check is here. She was marked as a heartbeat today. And if we go to her mare record, it's going to show both of those lines right there in her mare record, as well as her due date, she's in full, and the stallion. This is part of the reason why whenever they use a general stallion, that could lead to a little bit of confusion. However, you can always write it in her mare record right here. If we go back, let's go to the beginning of the year on her, and you can see that every time that they're bred, when they ovulate, and for all of the pregnancies, it will write a line on her mare record, so you don't have to come back in here and type it out. Now, if you'd like to edit that, that's fine. If, for example, you want to double-click on it and change that general stallion to whatever you want the stallion's name, you can simply save it, and that can be done here as well. So on this example, we have already entered her as pregnant. We have already entered her exam in. It has been added to her mare record, and you can see on the breeding log it shows her as in full. So again, this would be the same way that you would do it, just on a more current basis. If you were doing it for a mare that you were breeding on right there, you would do her breeding log, and then whenever you checked her ovulation, you would mark her ovulation, and then whatever time you checked her as in full, you would do that. When you checked her pregnancy with a heartbeat, you would do that. So it would be more of a daily kind of basis for that mare. For this mare, we've shown you how to backdate things so that if you have a mare that is in full when she walks on your place, you can mark her as that.